Called meeting to order. Chairman has a quorum present. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Flores, and myself. We do have a quorum. Y'all will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Flores, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. Real quick, before we get started, Tom Garcia used to be our administrative assistant here. Yesterday, he got put in the hospital with a heart attack. So I will send y'all where he's at and his contact information, or his wife's. But if we had a phone call yesterday, if we could please keep him on our prayers. Thank you. Reason I called this meeting, we had a conversation on Wednesday with Commissioner Vasquez that he wanted to open up a warming center. He said he wanted to open one up. We had a conversation that I thought it was a good idea. One of the ideas was that because it sat in the middle of a neighborhood, if it got cold enough, it would be a good idea to have it there because it did sit in the middle of a neighborhood. And that's what you're trying to accommodate is citizens. The Tony Foss Center, I'm sorry. Within that conversation, I was going to make phone calls, made some phone calls, then I would get back with him to come up with a plan. Okay. After I got off the phone, and we spoke, what times maybe?
Yes, sir.
After that conversation, I spoke with Commissioner Flores and told him that I got a phone call, and he says, well, I was fixing to call you right now too, because what are we going to do? And told him that I had a conversation with Commissioner Vasquez, went through all that. We cannot open up a warming center until the emergency management director, which is I, or the county, signs something, or it comes before the court to get it approved. Okay. That's the way it works. I am the emergency management coordinator, and there is a lot of other rules that we need to take into consideration, whether we're going to feed, whether we're going to shelter, what is it that we're going to do. Again, the court, because I did not make that decision to do it, I figured I'd have a commissioner's court meeting, and then the court as a whole could decide. We went in and visited. We had been in conversations with the city. And if I wasn't in part of the conversation, I know that Roland and Amanda were having conversation as to what was happening. To be perfectly clear, this event will not be anything like what we did through in Snowvid or whatever y'all want to call it. It's just not. We are going to have, it'll start Saturday night, or Saturday or on lunchtime, and probably through Tuesday morning, probably Tuesday to lunchtime. It will get into the 20s starting Saturday afternoon, and we'll be in the 20s and 30s, maybe even hit as high as 40 sometime between Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to lunchtime Tuesday. Now, in opening them up a warming center, and we need to be perfectly clear, if we're going to do a warming center and not a shelter, we have more leeway with a warming center. The city is going to open up a warming center in Chihuahua. The last time that the city did, the one at the Civic Center, 5 to 10 people maybe, at the most. Okay. We do not have either one of the buildings, either one of the facilities, the Tony Foss Center or the community center, neither one have sprinkler systems in the facilities. And I haven't gone to go check and see about smoke alarms and smoke detectors. So when we get into that, we would have to have an individual there that is qualified for fire watch my understanding. But, now, when people are going to look at this and say, well, now don't want to do it because, the money of having somebody there, look, if it's up to the court whether they want to have the warming centers or not. If the city's going to have one, and if you had overflow, then by all means, I don't care what it costs. If there's a necessity, we need to get it done. All right. So, first of all, is the court wanting to open up warming centers? If they are, there are a set of rules that are going to have to go along with that. We will have to put in place somebody that is qualified for a fire watch at the facilities. And the city rotates those individuals, which are firemen, out every 4 hours, my understanding. We are going to, I haven't gone down to actually inspect both facilities. I would assume that both of the ones are ADA compliant. But I would assume that, and I would assume yours would definitely be. Yours, because of the amount of work that has been going on there, I don't know. I do know that it should be. But,
It should be.
yeah, it should be. But at the end of the day, the responsibility as emergency management director falls on me. We were trying to gather all the information before we would pull the trigger on anything. Okay. So at the end of the day, if we are wanting to open up warming shelters at the Tony Foss Judicial Center or Tony Foss Center or the Community Center in Cinegas, at this point, it would have to be up to the court, but there is a set of rules that we will need to follow. Okay. We will have to set funds aside for, to have somebody there at the fire watch. We will have to have somebody there to, trained as to what to look for. And I gave you all a piece of paper right now, from the city that I asked them because of what they'd already produced. And I already had a concern from our county attorney as to the pets, whether on a leash or off a leash or whatever, but are we going to allow them? So first of all, do you have any comments, Matt? Are we good so far? Are we okay so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Roland, I know that last night also, I think you texted me at 11 something or whatever that, DHS, they have a set of rules also that we're going to have to comply with if they sleep there at night. And we'd have to register it with them because of their concern.
Right, and they're available for any questions. So the Texas Department of Health and State Services, Health Services, Human Services, they've got best practices and a template that you can follow, things that we have to adhere to on the health side. Bible with TDM also has some insight in terms of kind of what some of the best practices are, do's and don'ts for opening a warming center, and if we decide to go to the shelter side. And then Kimberly with Red Cross is also on the meeting, or here with our gentleman meeting, just to kind of discuss future plans. Again, as you stated, Judge, this will probably be a 2-day event, if you will. And so, given the circumstances around that and past experiences, we just got to prepare it right, as everyone here wants to do. We just make sure that we follow the guidelines and make sure that we don't do anything that's going to get us in trouble on down the line.
But we had, at the most people that we had, the city's opening up a warming center. The city, in reality, if we were to open one up, we can't turn anybody away. It doesn't matter what.
You're not supposed to, right?
Yeah, not supposed to. So the city's going to open up a warming, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But the city's opening up a warming center, and we had 5 or 10. The facility will probably hold 15, 20. Somewhere like that with cots. Yeah.
Assuming the electricity doesn't go out as well, right? So in the situation with Snowvid, when the city...
Okay, let's back up. We don't anticipate, before people look,
Right.
but we don't anticipate the electricity to go out this go round like we did the last time.
Correct. And we've been in communication with AEP and the representatives who are caught, making sure that there's enough power on the grid, if you will, to prevent that from happening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I've got a question, Judge. Several years back, the county, we bought generators for some facilities, and we're supposed to get one for the community center. I don't know
We
what
didn't-
facilities
We
got
didn't
those.
buy a generator for the community center. We ended up, I think the sheriff's office ended up with, I know, two.
Yeah.
But, and here lately, we've bought, within this court, we bought, one for the library. We've bought one for the fire station. And here recently, we bought one for, the CAD building. Right. Those are the ones that we have bought so far. And we talked about buying one for the community center. And at that point, I think you were actually making it bigger.
Yes,
But, and we were trying to wait on that to see what the outcome was going to be with that, because I think you added, the places when the dentists were coming in at one point, and then you added for Social Security a little bit,
And then the,
and then you added this major expansion in the other area. And then, bottom line is, it got swept off the table and didn't get done. We will have, I'm gonna get off a little bit. We will have an event center, planned, at the fairgrounds coming up, that they're working on the restrooms and stuff like that to get to you. That facility there is, you almost can't get any more centrally located. And if we were to plan later for a warming center or a shelter or whatever, that would probably be the best location. But we didn't ever buy one. We do have other generators bought, but right now at this time, after all the information that we've been playing with since Wednesday, with Ms. Burkhart, yesterday we met with the city, Amanda and, the mayor, Ms. Burkhart, fire chief, everybody for the city was there. And, they will be opening up a warming center. Now, if the court wants to open up warming centers, that's the first step. The second step is going to be, how are we going to man them? And we need to make sure that we set funds aside to man them, and that we come up with some rules, on how we're going to do it. The city is on their end opening one up, and I said earlier that if they show up, really can't turn anybody away. So if you show up from outside the city limits, inside the city limits, it really don't matter. The feeding and all that, we open up another can of worms. If we begin to feed individuals and we end up with dietary, it's another can of worms that we have to go through. All right. So if the county does want to open up a warming center, I have not signed anything. It would have to be the court. And we are not on the list that the governor put out yesterday. As of yesterday, or last night when Roland texted, we are not on their disaster, what they declared a disaster. Okay, at all. We're not there. We're not there. Uvalde's not there. Terrell's not there. Kenny, Maverick, nobody's on that list. So we need to be careful what we do, that in case this does go south, that we follow protocol in order to make sure that, we get reimbursed. I hate saying it now, but that's just absolute truth. Okay.
So how many employees do we have that qualify to be on this fire watch?
There would probably be, well, don't shake your head no now. We have fire department personnel that at this point we would probably be 2 that are fire department personnel, but that's what the city's using. Now, are they qualified to be there? I would assume yes, but we've got 2.
So that's the limit
And I
of
can tell-
possibility to.
And I
We
can
put them
tell
on
you,
a 4-hour watch or 8-hour watch. I mean, we can't man this 24 hours.
well, and again, you know, I wouldn't say we get in trouble, but we always, this court has always been really good at providing service. We've been through Haitians, immigrants, COVID, Amanda, Roland. We've been through Winter Storm. We've been through all 3 of them together. And we never have really thought of the dollars. It was just a matter of doing it. And I get your point, and I agree with you.
No, I'm not talking about dollars. I'm just talking about, is it
No, no.
even possible that we could manage?
The answer to that question, after looking at everything that we need to do, the answer to that question is no. Okay. But my speech a little while ago, or what I started to say is that, you know, we've always been good at trying to take care. And I think we're trying to take care, and we're trying to move forward, trying to make sure that there isn't anybody out there that isn't warm because of something that we did wrong or did not do. And that's the issue that we're having.
Judge,
Please.
I know you qualified it earlier, the need for a fire watch person, so to speak, because there are no
Sprinklers.
sprinklers or the alarm.
Mhm.
Does it have to have sprinkler and alarm, or can it just have an alarm?
Well,
And trying to put in an alarm in the next.
we run into different rules because we're sleepy people there. Okay. So we'd have to go back and look, but I can tell you that I don't think they have either one of them. All right,
Right.
today.
But obviously, probably can't put in a sprinkler system. in
No,
24
but you can
hours.
put in an alarm, but when you do that, you can't put in a battery operated alarm. It has to be hardwired and battery operated. Okay.
Right.
Is this something that we'll do next week? Yes, yes. But does Anita rise today to open up a warming shelter? Yes, it does, but the city's doing it. Okay. Now, I think again, everybody wants to help, and I think that's how come this thing got a little bit out of hand, or not a little bit, got out of hand was because everybody's wanting to help. Everybody's wanting to do something. Right? Yes, sir, you're tapping your finger.
Well, okay, you got it. No, I've got a question, Judge. Would a emergency response official qualify to oversee one of the facilities or the facility?
Well, the problem with that is that how are you going to rotate them?
No, yeah, I understand that. I mean,
And-
we've
and I
got
can
two
tell
in
you that-
precinct 4.
But they're not qualified. They're not qualified under the fire watch. Who?
Me?
Yeah. You can sit there, but you're not, you know.
We got.
And again, we're I'm not gonna say in trouble, we will get in trouble, but if something was to happen, the liability would be placed on the individual probably that's there, even though that all we're trying to do is help. Does that make sense?
Can we do it just during daylight hours where they're not spending the night?
That's a tough one there.
Well,
It's
and-
cooler at night than it is in the day.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, please. Of course. Come on up.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Commissioners. The key,
Before you start, can you introduce yourself?
oh, yes, my name is Van Zabava. I'm the Disaster District Chief for District 24, so I cover 9 counties. Val Verde is one of them. Victor Gonzalez, who is my Maverick CLO, also covers Val Verde, but I'm here on his behalf today because he's out on other business. Now, the key message here is the wording of everything, because Judge said it right, and all of y'all are in agreement. We all want to help our constituents. They all mean something to us because we all live here. And so we want, if we need to provide something for them, that's great. You know, we can certainly do that. But the key words are either center or shelter. And if you have a warming center can be set by specific hours, or it can be a 24-hour operation, as long as it's set in that fashion. A warming center is, the messaging is put out, and I believe the city's already worked on that, where in their warming center, they're advising anybody who wants to stop by, be self-sufficient, bring what you need. We're not providing anything other than 4 walls and a heater. Okay? And that takes a lot of the decisions off of our shoulders there. Now, if we say shelter, now we're telling them that we're going to give them a place to stay, sleep, we're going to feed them, And then now you start getting into FDA regulations. Now we've got to be ADA compliant because we have to be able to make sure everybody has access to this. And then DSHS has to get involved because now it's a sheltering operation, and then epidemiologists get involved and so on. Now, the goal is still the same. We all want to make sure that our citizens have a warm place. And it doesn't have to be people from either the county or the city. We have a lot of people that drive up and down 90 and 277 going who knows where. But if the roads start to freeze north of us and they cannot get to their destination, they can go to the website, and that's why we have it on website boards. So any traveler can see, oh, there's a warming shelter 10 miles behind me. Let's just turn around, let's go back to Del Rio. We'll go to the warming center, and we'll just hang tight there until the ice dissipates or TxDOT gets the roads opening. So it's, all of those things come into play. But with the shelter, now you've got to provide beds. And now if you're providing food, that brings up another headache. So it's all about the messaging of what it is you want to tell your citizens. Hey, we have a place for y'all to be warm, and this is the location, a warming center. And that way it'll kind of help alleviate a lot of the questions you're trying to distinguish between, do we shelter or do we just do a center? Does that make sense?
It makes all the sense.
Any questions on that?
Do the manpower guidelines, if it's a warming center, still have to fall under, it's gotta be manned and so on?
Well, somebody's got to oversee it because it is your
Right.
property and you don't want any damages. So,
24/7.
does a policeman have to be 24 hours? They could do drive-bys.
Does it have to be manned by someone who is fire trained?
That was a tough one too because, I spent a lot of time over at the Chihuahua Center.
Right.
We didn't have somebody standing there watching me, with 800 people in that room to find out if a fire was taking place. We're all smart enough to say, hey, it's hot over there, let's go that way.
Yes,
It's on fire.
But it seems like the discussion has been, the concern is, do we have enough qualified people to watch? But if the center doesn't require that qualification, then we can probably meet that.
That would be a decision that y'all would need to make as
I guess
a
that's the question.
county, yes.
Does a center, if it's a center, does that necessitate a qualified fire watch person?
That would also be y'all's decision because it is your center. Yes, because I'm from the state. I'm always here to help,
Right.
offer the guidance, but I cannot tell you how to run a warming center or what all goes into it. No, that's
But if it was a state guideline, you definitely let us know. If it needed.
if it was a state deal, like, just like what, Judge was saying, okay, we're not a part of the governor's declaration at the moment. If the situation dictates tomorrow, and now all of a sudden Judge has to sign a disaster declaration, yeah, we're gonna get at it, and other things are gonna happen. Yeah, so it's just starting on your level. What is it that you're comfortable with? That's probably a county attorney question right there. Hey, do we need it or not, or can we just have patrol buys like we would with, police department?
Got a question here.
Yes.
So a building or a facility to qualify for a warming center or shelter, it's gotta have sprinkler system.
That would be
I
up to
mean,
your
to a
code
certain point,
compliance.
that would be the number one concern as to housing a big group of people in there.
It also depends on what your city ordinance says. What does the city ordinance say? What does the building, code say? Those kind of questions.
There's a lot of pros and cons to this, but at the end of the day, what we want to do is help the people as
Sure.
much as possible. We might not be equipped with the right people or equipment, generators or stuff like that, but we're here to open the door for that if we can, and if it's approved by our judge and the court, that's what we want to do, help the people.
Sure. The other option is instead of duplicating efforts, if city and county both decide, you know what, we both want to do this because we both have citizens in city and county, why don't we identify a location that would handle so much? Because the way I look at it is the same as a hospital. What constitutes a mass casualty? It depends on the bed count in your hospital. Same with the warming center. What is our capacity and what do we do if we go above, let's just throw a number out there, 30. If we get 31 people, now what do we do? Do we need a bigger place? You know, and so if we combine resources and if the city and the county both want to come together to use one central location, it can handle up to 50, which I believe, Amanda, you said no more than 20 last year?
Correct.
So we're well above that, and now we have plenty of resources to cover one location and still have plenty of responders for other emergencies that may come about.
And we talked about that yesterday with the city, you know, would they accept people? And then, you know, they're outside the city limits, and the answer is yes. You know, but again, we had this meeting called so we could have this discussion.
Yes.
And we really do appreciate you coming.
My
I know that, and you brought up right now that, you know, depending on the rules, whether we lie inside the city limits or whatever, I think the conversation yesterday was because they are sleeping people there, and there will be people there, whether they bring their own stuff or not, or whether we supply a cot or not. And if they want to sleep there, they can if they bring their own blankets
Their
or
own
whatever.
amenities.
But at the point that they begin to sleep there, I think that was the concern by the city, was that that's how come they have to have a fire watch, because it's inside the city.
Now, that could very well be, like.
And I think that might, I didn't ask if that was part of their code, but the way they were explaining it to me, because if somebody is sleeping there, then there has to be a fire watch. And we have one facility that is inside the city limits.
And that would be better for a night shift because less things happen at night. Of course, I say that, and then, you know, of
Yeah.
course, tonight, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
will be the night that makes me a liar. But yes, those are, you know, I would probably say get with the county attorney and look and see what the city ordinances say and see what the building inspector has to say, and that will help y'all make the best decision possible for your residents.
Well, and I just sent the text because that's going to be another question when we go into executive session. We're going to have to answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. David, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You got anything else, David? I have some concerns that I'd like to voice in session, if y'all are okay.
Judge, I'd like to state something before we go into executive session. The community center has around 200 blankets available. You know, I hope this happens and we can help the people, and if not, I mean, whoever meets the rules to a warming center or shelter, those blankets are available.
Okay. All right. Do y'all mind going to executive session? Okay. David, are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If y'all don't mind, give us room, we'll go into executive session, and then we'll take a little minute, and we'll come back. Thank y'all. And, transportation, David? Can they do that?
Yeah.
All right, we're back from executive session. We are talking about item 5, discussing possible actions on identifying and providing supplies for warming centers for upcoming winter storm event. I would like to say that this court, as well as the other court, with Commissioner Wardlaw and Commissioner Nettleton, have always been courts, as well as all the other courts, that we've always wanted to help our citizens. Doesn't matter whether you live inside city limits, outside, it doesn't matter. And at this time, I think it would serve everybody's best interest, just because of the amount of guidelines and rules that we would need to come up with and follow, that we partner or help the city with anything they might need in their warming center. That will be open Saturday at lunch and then close Tuesday at lunch, it looks like. Well, here, let me, before I get into that, I got a flyer, so let me make sure I know what I'm talking about.
I think it's 6 p.m. on Saturday, Judge.
Okay. 6 p.m. on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in saying that, the court, members of the court, and we'll put it out on our website here in a minute, all their phone numbers, how you can get a hold of each one of your commissioners, and myself, if we're going to target elderly, veterans and single parent, families. Did I get that right? Okay. We'll target them in case they need food product. We do have blankets also available. If you will get with your commissioners, they will make that happen for y'all. Okay. And if at some point, I know that the city's looking at transporting, or we got a text message, their transportation is from 6 to 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon. If it gets bad, there will be numbers that we'll put out on our website that if you'll call, we'll try to facilitate transportation to the warming center at the Chihuahua Center for the city. If doesn't matter where you live, if you need a warming center, it's there at the Chihuahua Center. Also, if it looks like that center does overflow, which in the past it hasn't. We've had 5 or maybe 10 people show up, but if something does happen, we'll be in constant communication with their emergency management coordinator, the mayor, Ms. Burkhart. Roland will take care of that along with myself. And I'll be in constant communication with the commissioners that if something like that was to happen, that we're able to provide another facility, and then we'll have a plan on how we're going to man it. Okay, whatever that is, but we'll come up with a plan, and we'll be in communications with the city on their behalf, on our behalf, and the citizens' behalf. Funds, if we will just whatever funds are needed on the county side in order to make all this happen. If y'all will keep track of it in your own precincts, and then we will bring it back to the court to figure out what that was and to figure out a remedy on how to get that funded. We're okay with that? Okay. I will put all that in some type of form of a motion. You'll have to go back and listen to it.
I'll second that, Judge.
That was a motion. It's a very difficult, I can tell you that this is a very difficult decision because every member of the court is wanting to go out and do and help. But I think this will facilitate individuals to get to the facility. And if they need anything, the numbers will be posted on the website. I have a motion and I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Any of y'all want to say anything before
I just want to encourage the people of Valverde County to keep a close eye on the weather, watch it, monitor it on your phones. Portions of Valverde County will be getting freeze, northern end. That line is not very far away, and it wouldn't take much to move down here, so just monitor the weather, take care of yourself.
All right. Anybody against? 0. Motion carries 5-0. Item 7, commissioners' comments. Item 8, the only thing I have is if y'all will please keep Tom Garcia in your prayers. All right. Motion to adjourn. Does anybody have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Commissioner Wardlaw. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jesus Christ, nobody wants to go home. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.